I see the star. I hear the rolling thunder. Thy power throughout the universe display. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art. Night, everybody. Everybody good? Thank you all for joining me. While we, please remember to share the live. Invite some people on. If you know any PMP at all, and some of them will be on this, chatting foolishness about how bitter I am. That's their argument. Them free for talk is free country. Everybody have their own argument to say. Don't beat them up too much when they say those things. But any PNP you know, send this live to them. Send this live to them, please. I'm asking you. Are all in good spirit? I should tell you that the only song that every time I come on singing a song is because I wake up with it in my heart and on my lips. There's always a song running around in my head as I open my eyes and say, thank you, Lord. There's always a song. And the song from morning is a simple, wonderful, traditional hymn. If you talk about the top 10 of hymns, this is in the top 5 of real good traditional hymns. Oh Lord my God, when I, in awesome wonder, consider all the world thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. O Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder, come on everybody, consider all the world thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe display. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sing my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Your time now. I want to do the singing now. Sing about how great God is. Huh? Let's do it. Thank you, Lord. We need you, Jesus. Can't do this without you. So, let's begin. Can I share something with you first? Before I even begin to go into all of that. Welcome, everybody. God bless you all. I hope all the GSAT students feeling relaxed and doing well. The little piece of crap here in my yard. Him going yesterday morning bright and shine and pretty. With a pencil in a Ziploc bag and ruler and all kind of things. All the GSAT kids in my ends get free pencil. When I went out to the shop this evening, I see how much pencil them get. I should not have done that. Like everybody take 3 or 4 pencil. You know, everybody's supposed to get 2, but look like everybody take 3 or 4. And them take rubber, and them take ruler, everything. And the little crap in my yard now. This is the last one doing GSAT. I mean, there will be more, but it is the last one of the yard. He believed that he is some kind of God in the yard. He believed that he is everything. And we all make him feel that way. But he went out yesterday, bright and shine and handsome. And I told him that, do your best, Papa. Just do your best. Just read the question. Remember the answer that teacher said that is right. And tick that one. And then I said to him, when you're in doubt, just do eeny, meeny, miny, moe. If you're not so sure, do a eeny, meeny, miny, moe. It works. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe works. And he said, okay. And this morning now, this little piece of something, sit down with the egg sandwich in him hand, bawling, crying hard. And maybe it wasn't crying, maybe it's just his memesy come screw on the hose to go where to plant and just start bawl. I was like, what to you? It hurt. So, it appears to be, and I said to him then, well, if your head hurt you, it means that you passed everything already. You did everything right yesterday, everything you get right yesterday. That's why your head hurt you. So go and mash up today and come back. I don't see him yet. Well, I saw him in the bed, wrap up the AC. But parents, keep them close and keep them steady and encourage them. They did their best. Everybody did their best. But him head hurt him. I tell him that him head hurt him because him mashed up the whole thing yesterday and he mashed up all the one today before him even go. That's what I meant. Head hurt him. But anyway, I'm glad that's over. There's a level of stress that comes with that. So I'm glad that's over. But what I want to share with you is not that. What I want to share with you is the events of the parliament, or I feel about it. And when we're having these group calls, I can't seem to participate in the group calls and everybody laugh off of me. Amoy and Barry and everybody laughing off of me. Because I am dumbstruck. Totally dumbstruck. When I tell you I am flabbergasted. I want you to understand what I mean. And as much, I would say this to you, as much as many things don't surprise me, even when we believe that, there are things that really knock you off your keys and you're wondering, what? Well, Tuesday's happening in Parliament, and Nikisha Burchell video in Parliament subsequent to that was enough. I couldn't function. I couldn't function all of yesterday. I couldn't even function today. Barely. Don't make the bed from morning. I barely made it through dogs and the garbage and the platinum. Barely. Because I have a sense of awareness as to how bad this is. And as bad as it is, how worse it could get. That's a sense that I'm having. I tell you, I am not, all of us are special in our own way. And all of us have our own connection with our divine God. But I'm telling you, my job that He gave me, He has equipped me with so many new things. Every day I should be singing, how great thou art. Because I'm telling you, it blew me. Totally. And I'm going to tell you every single part of it that blew me. Our parliament. And I want them to share the live with the PMP people, them. The dunce PMP people, them. I want them with the under the gleaner come talk about. We should, one from them, St. Catherine, and say, we should have dashed the maze out the door. This big old woman. Because she a PNP and she defend Angela Brownberg and she go under the gleaner post. She should dash the maze out a door. And every time you think that the thing has become a little more sophisticated and because the world has gotten a little bit smaller, people are beginning to have sense and understand things and learn more. Every time you think that, then something else happens. And you know for certain that nobody now learn nothing. Them still daft. Them still dumb. Them still me a PMP. So them can't see right from wrong. There are no grey areas in their eyesight. So them come out on social media and thank God that them have social media. Because their voices of dunces would not be heard anywhere else except on social media. Social media was built for people like them. You should have dashed the mace out a door. Political activists, probably a leader in one of the constituencies over there in St. Catherine. But that's what she said. So I'm going to share the live to the PMP people them. If you don't know anybody in Southwest St. Andrew, go ahead and share the live with any PMP person that you know in Southwest St. Andrew. And invite them to come listen to this. Because we're going to talk about it in detail tonight. So go share, go invite, and come back. I have said to many people before, and I'm going to repeat it here tonight. I am going to talk to the Speaker of the House tonight. I'm going to talk to the Prime Minister tonight. I am going to talk to the PMP people them tonight. I am going to talk to every single one of them. I am going to lick down Julian Robinson tonight. I'm going to lick him so hard tonight. He's going to be shorter than he is tomorrow. He's going to be stouter than he is tomorrow when I don't lick him down. Now, Julian Robinson is one of those who I don't really mess around because I've always thought him is a decent guy. Well, that gone through the door completely. We're going to talk to Damian too. Because, there's a saying that says, if you move a clown into the palace, it doesn't mean that the clown is going to be king. You know that, right? It just means that the palace now becomes a circus. And when they started out with them 28 after the September 3rd elections, all of us came on social media and we made it clear to the Jamaican people that these are 28 clowns who will be doing everything in their power to see who can be king clown or queen clown. because they have nothing else to offer the Jamaican people. We also said, many of us, that them so shocked by their loss after spending Mr. Maduro 10 million US, Matalan 500 million, and I don't know how much big Nell give them, but I'm sure it's close to that 500 million as well. And all the people who gave them these whole heap of money, they were absolutely certain that they were going to form the next government. And I want to start there tonight because that is the crux of the matter. After they lost on September 3rd, none of them, not a single one of them, neither individually or collectively, did any of them thought to themselves, we're going to get some therapy. Because them needed therapy. Them still need therapy. They are spiraling out of control because up to this day, 30th of April 2026, they have not reconciled that loss with the efforts and the money and the song and the conditions that they thought existed for them to win. They have not reconciled that yet. They are spiraling out of control. They are imploding inside that organization. They have not been able to come to terms with it. So when you see them beating down something, it's not that them don't like it and them don't think it good. It good. And boy, them don't love it. But them should have present it. And them should have do it. And them don't come out of this yet. Which is why them in the problem with them in because them can't seem to move away from that because they chose not to get some therapy. And all of us are geniuses when it comes to mental illness now. I mean, we can see the signs. Now take a look over there and tell me if anyone have not seen that these people are spiraling out of control because none of them, not a single one of them, thought to themselves, I need to go get some therapy. Not either individually or in a group, collectively, go get some therapy. Mark Golding don't get no therapy. Him off the reservation totally. Nobody got any therapy, and I understand it. So I understand the spiraling. I understand the anxiety. I understand the need to do and act and clownish and do all of this because I know you can't come to terms that you have lost. How did that happen? You must be having some kind of nightmares all of you on a daily basis. Certainly Angela, who took Mr. Maduro 10 million US dollar, still I try to change some of it just to win back her seat big because she's going to be government. She did spend some of the money down there because she was going to be government. Minister of local government and development and whatever it is local government entails. Wherever money is, that's where she want to be. So you couldn't tell them that they was going to lose. Mark dropped down election night. At least some emotion came from him because dropping down on election night in front of so many people is probably a good thing. People can say you're vexed and you lose and you don't like it and you act it out. But the rest of them have not gotten any therapy. None of them have gotten any therapy, so I'm inside they're imploding, and when them come in the parliament, them just spiral out of control. Just that. Having not done their due diligence in securing their mental health to come be a proper opposition, them can't help themselves about the things that they do. They cannot help themselves about the things that they do. So let me tell you this. I'm going to make sure I write down everything again. I would speak from my mind, but, you know, our parliament is a symbol and representation of our democracy, of who we are, what we want, what we seek, how we want to live, the society we want to build. That's our parliament. It is that symbol. It's a symbol of decency. It's a symbol of who want Jamaica to grow. It's a symbol of when you elect people who go in there and them have them differences, but them going to work together for the betterment of the country. The symbol of who we are as a people. PMP, JLP, no P. There's no such thing as no P. So that's PMP and JLP and some idiots will send them on a no P. That's all it is. The most powerful symbol in this country is the parliament. Why do you think that they make so much effort to reach there? People, the great men and women that have passed through that parliament, dilapidated as it is now, great men and women, Michael Manley, Norman Manley, Edward Siaga, Keebleman, great Jamaicans, Floswell Gospel have passed through that parliament, that body, that representation of the highest order of our country. It's where the Governor General gives his throne speech representing the monarchy. It's where he talks about other things, but he talks about our goodness and our decency and our affinity to love and how we're helpful and charming and wonderful. That's the perch from which the Governor General opened the parliament, the ceremonial opening. Everything that we are, coming from our slave ancestors and our slave masters, one of whom now sit in the parliament, coming through the ceremonial hold of the King Charles III, as our head of state, and the pomp and pageantry of British pomp and pageantry that is a part of that. The parliament, as dilapidated as a building as it is, it's not the building, it's the ideals, it's the history, it is what we hold dearest, it is what we want to achieve, what we want to do. It is supposed to attract men and women who wants to do something for the country. Yeah, most of them go because they want to pay, and they want the office, and they want to be member of parliament, and they want to be ministers of government. Most of them don't go there with that ideal to serve. There's no service in their hearts. They might have started out like that. It don't end up like that. It is where them walk mountains, walk in valleys, where them got people here go sit down and eat taste bad food, where them hug up dirty people and kiss up people with stinking mouth, is where them walk and beg and plead and pay money and give people stove and fridge and phone and tire for put on taxi and buy this and buy that. It is what they do to get there. The parliament. And nobody, not a single soul, I doubt, ever asks any of them, why do you want to go? Why do you want to be a parliamentarian? We asked Andrew Wallace that. We're asking him in Macri when I was a PMP and he first came to West Central St. Andrew. We asked him, but we had him buck up. And he said, want to this and one. So why you want to be why you want to be an MP? And he went on one long rigmarole. I can tell you, never give us a straight answer. He went on one rigmarole about why he wanted to be an MP. And then he became MP and came to the launch of Newmaline's community group over by St. Mary's Church and repeated that and said, we asked him once why he wanted to be a member of parliament. And he chose then to answer us. He said to say that he wanted to serve, sound a little bit, like, normal, everybody would say that. But then he said, Karen, Keith, in point to Keith, in point to me, in point to Mikey, because we had the PMP people who used to deal with him, and say, I want to see if I can help. That's all. I want to see if I can help. Many of you might watch this show New Amsterdam, where the chief of surgery, the new guy that come into the hospital, And him have this thing where him say, how can I help? That's his opening line to anybody. How can I help? Have you seen the nurse? I can't get the money. Tell me, how can I help? Well, Andrew only said, I just want to help. Of course, we never take him on with that. Because we think it's still politics speak. But think about it now. Might have meant something I don't know. But our parliament supposed to represent the best of us. The people. When I used to run the summer remedial reading program, summer camp for children with reading disabilities, which Christopher Tufton closed down because he refused to fund it. That's where we used to get our funding. Every year, every single year in that camp, there's a Thursday, the last Thursday of the camp, the children are bused to the parliament. We have pictures upon pictures of our kids sitting down in the speaker's chair. I have a picture of Matthew, my son Matthew, sitting down in the speaker's chair. He was one of the teachers for the program, teaching kids how to read. We have pictures of children being opposition leader and MPs. Lots and lots of pictures. They have been maybe 3-4 years straight. They went to the parliament. And we used to write to the parliament, and the parliament give us, agree us with the date or move the date. And when they go, the children go, the marshal and the clerk and the workers at the parliament, and walk them through things. And I never went. Always the teachers. We always hire 6 teachers for the camp. And it's always the teachers. They pay visits to the Minister of Education. Then they go to National Heroes Park. That was part of the camp. The parliament is a representation of who we are, what we aspire to be. Which is why one would think that when you elect people to go there, they would get up in the parliament and they would speak highfalutin. We want a Jamaica that is filled with children that are decent and kind and conscious about their heritage and their culture. We want a Jamaica where every single mother can make it work with a good living minimum wage. We want a Jamaica where our young people are glorified and lifted up for their talents and their diligence and their beauty and their wonderfulness and their niceness. Our parliament is the place where that echoes from to our communities. And when the parliamentarians them step out of the parliament and go into a community, they repeat that. And when them go somewhere else, they repeat that. And somebody say, you know, come down here. The MP. MP means member of parliament. And the MP come down here. You know, Miss Karen, one young lady, told me down in central Manchester, when Miss Rhoda come round here, all of the little people, them, all of the young people, you call them little people, all of them want come talk to Miss Rhoda. And I say, when she talk to them, say, we know what them I say. Trust me, we know what them I tell she, but we want to know what she tell them, say. And the woman said, she tell them they must stay in school, they must be kind to each other. Member of parliament, living, repeating what it is that the parliament represents. So what? It has moved now because of 28 clowns who have not gotten any kind of therapy because they lost an election that they thought they were absolutely sure they were going to win. And so they come out in the parliament acting out their frustrations. And the parliament, over the years, somebody reminded this morning that over the years, Michael, Siaga, PJ, Siaga, all the rest of them, no matter what, them quarrel, them have them differences, but there is that line. When them reach a line there, nobody crosses it. So you would see them in parliament going on with all kind of things. And the next evening, you see Michael and Siaga each up in one corner, each of them with a glass of wine. Or PG having some discussion with Siaga, each of them with a glass of wine. Brothers, friends, Jamaicans, leaders, members of parliament. A I can't begin to tell you how much it hurts. The King Charles III, had a state visit to the United States. He left earlier today. And when all of this was happening, the British YouTubers then, Lady Colin Campbell and Kinsey Schofield, who operate from out of America, all of them, Dan Wooten, the word them. When I went on and talking to them about all of that yesterday, one of them said, I would imagine, this is what she said, I would imagine that because the king takes such an interest in Jamaica, that at some point during the day on Wednesday, his private secretary would have shown him something on the tablet or give him a piece of paper telling him what happened in Jamaica. The king would have been notified about it at some point during yesterday. So I'm confident that he knows. One of my subscribers sent me something. I'm going to share with you what she said. What she sent me and what she said. Let me find it and share it with you. I have to find it. She was talking about all the things that they did in the parliament, and it reminded her of something. I'm trying to find it. God, I hope I can find it. When I find it, I will share with it. I'll share it with you when I find it. What now? The display of Angela Brownburke and the Rise United clowns in the parliament, in our parliament. If we are to believe what Angela Brownburke is saying, something to the effect of an apology, I wouldn't want to hear. It's not an apology. It's an explanation for an embarrassment that she's trying now to tape over. But if you believe her in what she says, then it boils down to the fact that it's a fact because she's not in government and she's not spending the money and them not gonna serve the team and the bill pass. And if you should believe her, you would not, in the final analysis of what she said, because she said also some other things about she wanted to be talking about the bill and the bill, but by her own actions, the talk is not about the bill. The talk is about her market behavior. The talk is about her dirty girl behavior, her misunderstanding or lack of understanding of how a parliamentarian should behave. Or because she never seek no therapy after she spent Mr. Madura $10 million and lost. All of that. So nobody need to listen to what Angela is saying about that. The takeaway from it, knowing that the parliament is the first stop of how we want our nation to be, how we want our children to look upon our leaders. Our leaders are not role models anymore for our kids. I don't want no children of mine to look at anybody in that parliament and talk about them, want to use them as no role model. They are not role models anymore. They're not. Only just not role models anymore. Just too many things have happened for you to be role model. But people can have ambition based on your own ambition. People say, oh well, I want to be an MP or I want to be a councillor. This is a parliament building where we're supposed to have civil discourse and conversation and debate, and you and I should disagree on most things, but when it comes down to it, for the benefit of the country and for the benefit of the people, you and I will say, yeah, we agree long time from September 3rd that these people, the 28th, will never say yeah to anything that is good for Jamaica because of the man who lead them. He want to mash up the country He don't want it to be successful because it's not him leading. It all come back down to that, you know. So the conversation, well, the attitude have moved away from a parliament where you used to have conversation and debate and disagreements, and the two would stand at the aisle and would take a break. And me, I said this to you, and you have said this to me. I would sit back down. I would say, all right, we agree and we disagree. I will move on. On Tuesday night, that move from conversation to disrespect to indecency and yes, to violence. All of that has moved from respect, from decency to confrontation and violence. So what now? What now? After that display? This will never happen. I hope this will never happen, what I'm about to say. But because I've been around so long, and I have an innate understanding of how these things tend to start, well, we need to put an end to it now before it starts. But hear me out. This is a permission slip to the base of your party. This moving from conversation to confrontation and disrespect and violence from inside the very place where that example should be set can be now conjured up in somebody's mind to come up to the parliament building and build a store heap and bring some stick and come fight some war for somebody. I pray to you, Lord. You know when this happen, Jesus, I know. But that would be the what next. Remember, you know, Jamaica is just 63 years old, you know. It's a young country that have no idea yet about deep warfare that some countries have gone through already and exist longer than us. This could be a permission slip. Some people come to parliament and decide to start something because them MP in the parliament are going bad. You do all that. You do to reach the parliament because at the time when you want to go, when you're fighting to reach, you consider it a privilege, a big thing. It makes you a big person. It gives you prestige. It gives you recognition. It gives you a platform. It gives you a stage to stand on. And you make so much effort to reach. And because you're not leading it, and because you did not get any therapy for having spent nearly $1 billion Jamaican dollars and lose, you can't come to terms with it. And this is where you reach, spiraling out of control. The clowns in the palace, but you're not kings or queens. It's just all the palace. It's a clown show. The mace is part of that symbol. I really need to find this thing that my subscriber sent to me. The mace is a part of the symbol of our democracy. It is. It's a representation of part of that democracy. Yes, I found it. A subscriber sent something to me yesterday, this morning, and she wrote, "Isn't it ironic that the PMP who blocked the removal of the monarch as the head of the Jamaican state and thereby retaining our colonial attachment were the very ones to violate and disrespect this sacred practice of the role of the mace, the role that the mace plays in our parliament, and how is it to be handled. Isn't it ironic? She says, I find it quite instructive. And it is. The mace exists from medieval times, became a symbol of protecting the monarchy or the monarch himself at the time from about the 12th or the 13th century. By the 16th century, the mace was moved not only as a representation of the monarch himself, but as a representation of a constitutional monarchy, both in Britain and all Commonwealth countries, including Australia and New Zealand, Canada. The mace is there right in England, in the parliament. It's one of the symbols of what we do as a party, as a country, as a parliament. But Angela Bromberg would not have taken the time out to read and understand what the mace is. She wouldn't have known that at first, the first mace was used as a weapon in wars. All kings before the 13th or the 14th century, before the 16th century certainly, all kings leading an army had it, had a mace. And it became a symbol of the British monarchy and a symbol of our parliamentary democracy, part of that monarchy that we hold dear. And we might not like it, but at least respect it. I am willing to bet $800 that I have in my wallet. I am willing to bet it that the only one of that 28 that came to our parliament on September 3rd that took the time out to read the entire constitution and the standing orders is Isaac Buchanan. I don't know it to be true, but I'm willing to bet that it is. That he's the only one who have read the entire thing and understood it. And his reaction in the parliament told you clearly that yes, he did. He was stunned. Held his head one point of a time. So he understood it. And clearly, even though he's a part of the 28th clown, he understands that this is not good. Not good at all. So he understand that. When Angela got up and performed that act, when she did that and went back to her position of a seat, I want all to watch that videos and watch everything properly. You know, need to watch everything properly and don't run out and talk foolishness. And all of the PMP people, with duds be an understanding because we're not PMP, when I read nothing, when I try to understand nothing, but I follow the dumbass leaders them, we're going to pay for these things. On the children and the grandchildren is going to pay for these things. So when she went and got the thing and put them back and come back, she stood there. When the speaker named her and started to follow the process, she stood up When the speaker asked the marshal, I would really need to go get a proper marshal. Because the marshal, never cut it. You need an ex-policeman to be a marshal. The British have a sergeant in arms, and he has access to a handcuff. Yes? So does the Canadians. They have sergeant in arms, and both of them have access to a handcuff. So does the sergeant of arms down in New Zealand and Australia. Them have access to a handcuff. Them have it on them body, but them will go get it and slap it on any parliamentarian that mess with the rules. Una know what you know. Una don't know what una do. But when I finish tonight, una going to have a clear understanding of what una did. So after she do all of that and go back to her seat, and the whole thing start turn over upon her, realization dawned on her. She stood there and she was unraveling. Go back and look. She stood there with a bottle of water. Unraveling. Angela Brownberg. She realized what she did, and she realized how bad it was. And then that nincompoop named Julian Robinson. Oh, the men here, you don't see that here because I don't soon to call him names, so I wouldn't have to look back again. Was the chief instigator to block the marshal from reaching Angela. He stood up, touched her on her back, saw the marshal coming, indicated to the pedophile that he must draw over him chair and put him chair in the passageway to block the marshal. Julian Robinson, whose daddy was a judge in The Hague. Julian Robinson, who everybody think is a decent guy, turned out to be scum. Nothing but scum. Him pat her upon her back was saying something to her, like him saying, listen guys, let's get together, we have to go protect the chairman of the party. He indicated to the pedophile that he must draw up him chair and block the marshal. And then Bunting, the man who couldn't protect him dick down at Portland because two women tie up him ass with them drawers and him couldn't protect nothing. Then him come. So there's Julian, there's Bunting, there is the pedophile, and then when she went to the thing, Damien, him get up and run and laugh. He knew instantly that's a bad thing, but him laugh because it's a clown show. It's a damn circus in the palace. So he ran, him grit him teeth, him run up to where Isaac was, him spin around 2 times, then he went back down. So he was a part of that consultation now, which is why I'm come out in the foolishness earlier today, playing a part of the clown show. So all of those who gathered around her are complicit. And I'm going to read to the Jamaican people what the law and the rules are in terms of what she did and what punishment she must be made an example of. And if the House Speaker and the government ever make this opportunity pass them, ever make them get away with this, things will never be the same again in this country. Price must be paid for this kind of behavior. Our children would not get away with those things. Our grown people, Bunting, Julian, the pedophile, Damien Crawford, blocking the marshal, preventing the marshal, legal, constitutional marshal, rules that they should have read before they came into our parliament, rules that they should have understood and they signed on to. I know I'm not supposed to get all agitated. Yes, Marjorie, I hear you. Don't call about it, please. I am taking it down a bit. All right, darling? Taking it down. Rules that they signed on to. That this is the way this thing operates. Everybody who go there have to learn the rules. And the teacher lock you down, don't give you the right to go back on the teacher. The teacher tell you, put down your hand, should not take your question, don't give you the right to disrespect the teacher. Don't give you that right. But no, what Angela Brownberg did was planned. She thought about it. She probably discussed it with one or two people. She planned to do it. They have been gnawing at Mrs. Holness, nipping at her heels, day after day. Even that half-idiot Paulwell coming at the parliament, running interference and bunting, beating at the speaker. It is an orchestrated plot for them to try and bring down the speaker. Can't catch Kwaku. Because if we can't catch him short now. Because Mr. Holness embarrassed them on September 3rd. So they're going to try to see if them can get Mrs. Holness wrong up, uno can't more wrong up. Uno have my word. I don't know my word is my bond. Uno have my word that uno couldn't be more wrong up. Uno want to take it on? Go right ahead and take it on. But don't say me never tell uno. Go right ahead. Take on Juliet Holness. All uno. Keep at it. And then watch God work. Because when God work, uno have no talk. All the rules that they signed on to. Them go road, go beg and beseech people to vote for them. Them hang out of people here at 12 o'clock at night. Them go people party, birthday party. People drink out, people bar, people cook shop. Just to reach the parliament. And they never read the rules. They signed their names. Which is an indication that we accept. We come into this parliament, we got sworn in, we accept the position, we accept the rules, we accept whatever is required of us to do. We accept it. Here we sign. And then they chose to do otherwise. So let me just go through with you just a few things so that there is no ambiguity, no kind of misunderstanding as to what this is. So let me start with this and this first. And this part of the rule, the Constitution, the law, is where I want to start from. Because it's not just Angela that must be disciplined. It's Bunting, it's Julian Robinson, it's the pedophile, it's Damian Crawford. At least Massa, sit down like the white Massa that him is. Make the monkeys them go and go kill themselves. Him sit down and look for Andrew Holness. He never took him focus off of Andrew Holness. Bad mind, grudgeful, wickedness. He must look for Andrew Holness. And you take him a spot. And me should over there, so. Watch him. And me should over there. Look at him. You red like. And me should over there. And me white. That him just pay attention to Andrew Holness. And leave the monkey them to run amok. That's all. So this is where I want to start. Not with Angela Brownberg alone. But with all of them. That the speaker have the right and the power to exert discipline on. And them can't do shit about it. In the Jamaican Parliament, collective defiance of the Speaker's authority is treated as a high-level breach of order. If multiple members of Parliament, MPs, rise in support of a suspended colleague and refuse to sit or clear the way for the marshal, Sergeant in arms, in bracket, they can be disciplined both individually and collectively. Would you like me to read it again for you? Say yeah. Anybody, you want me to read that again? In the Jamaican Parliament, collective defiance of the Speaker's authority is treated as a high-level breach of order. If multiple members of Parliament, MPs, rise in support of a suspended colleague and refuse to sit or clear the way for the marshal, they can be disciplined both individually and collectively. Now the word can, not must nor shall, but the word can gives full power and authority to the Speaker of the House. But tell you something wrong up, you know. You don't know what to do. You wrong till you can't be wrong no more. If you think the election was fair, watch this. Watch this. Ah boy. I want to go to the first thing. That's the first thing I wanted to say to you about the collective responsibility. The fact that all of the long-tone man them, including the pedophile and the one where woman tie him up with them drawers and him couldn't even protect him dick. Him. All of them gather round to prevent the marshal from carrying out his responsibility. There are a whole heap of things about the order and what the Speaker can do. It's just that one. I'm not going to read the rest of them. It's just that one I want to read, because the other ones are clear. It is the prerogative, the power, and the authority of the Speaker of the House to name all of them. All of those who participated in that high-level breach, blocking the marshal, the pedophile who drove him seat and sit down, as Julian Robinson instructed him to do. The evidence is there. There's no ambiguity in the evidence. Bunting him coming up front, moving around, you know, like him in charge of something. I was looking like him in charge of something. Stop and speaking, and whole of them surrounded her, like them protecting her. They are at the top of the list. The discipline is not just she. She must be thrown out of the Parliament, maybe not only for the rest of the legislative year, but certainly for a longer period. The Speaker of the House must act effectively and without impunity. The Speaker must act. They have been doing this from when was this? Whenever the House opened? Was March? When the 28th of them came to Parliament, from that very first day, they must be disciplined. And the country is not going to sit still. The country can't afford for them not to be disciplined. You crack. Because you'll be saying to the country, Madam Speaker, parliamentarians, you'll be saying to the country, it's all right. See that this is what we leaders do. Go and do it too. Go school and mash up the rules. And when the principal say go do that, don't do it. Go and do it. Going on out when the parents tell you don't go away, go on. When the parents say don't lift up something, lift it up. When the parents say don't try going to the safe and just the gun there, I will not, you know, the code. Go and open it. When the parents say don't wear that, go and wear it, because see there. Your leaders who your parents voted for doing it. So now it's up to the Speaker to decide if she wants to actually do something good for Jamaica. Make an example out of them, so that our children can understand that there are consequences to actions. Bad behavior. Julian Roberts, that stupid old ass, who coward, who can either 7 or 11 and instruct people to block the marshal. He was the instigator. He was the one issuing that instruction. to block the marshal from conducting his lawful legislative parliamentary duties. He was the one. Bunting, all of who was standing with her, every single one of them must be called and disciplined. This cannot go unpunished. Because if this go unpunished, this country gone. Totally gone. The days of proper discussion and disagreements in parliament, those days will be gone. Huh? Julian Robinson, the chief instigator, directing the disorder, giving instructions about the disorder. The amount of PNP people that have reached out and called me. The PNP people, them who not educated fools, just people who love my party and yeah, but Jesus have mercy. That woman is a disgrace. They won't have a voice. But whatever it is that keeps you all from exercising that voice is going to affect the children or the grandchildren. Because you're going to tell your grandchildren, this is something you mustn't do. But then you're a member of a clique or a group or a party who does those very same things and worse. And you don't understand that at one point your grandchildren are going to ask you, so how them do it? And you and them a friend. You have out with them and them a do it, so why me not do it? How are you going to tell them the parliament is a sacred ground? Our institution, the institution of parliament, it is a symbol of our democracy, a constitutional monarchy. The mace is a symbolic 16th century act. It is sacred. It's a good thing. And if you don't like it and you're anti it, why the hell did you run to be a member of parliament if you're not prepared to follow those rules? The speaker tell you shut up. When your time comes to speak legally and rightfully and based on the standing orders, nobody can stop you from speak. And just when we thought that was the highlight, Miss Nikisha Burchell, the future leader of the PNP, setting herself up quite nicely to be the next leader, went into the very same, just when you think you have seen the worst of it. She went into the parliament, on the parliament floor, in the chamber, and did a clown video, a spoof. A clown video. In Canada, New Zealand, Australia, United States is not a member of the Commonwealth, but in the United States. Let me stay with the United States. The Senate floor or the Senate chamber is only for senators, their staff, invited guest people who come to testify, stuff like that. Videos recorded of individual members of Congress making presentations, talking about particular item on our agenda, recorded by C-SPAN permanent setup in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. You can retrieve those videos and you can take those videos and you can make videos of yourself with them for campaigning. You cannot make a video of any kind on the Senate floor. Let me repeat that to you. You cannot go on the Senate floor and make a video. Not allowed. Simply not allowed. The House of Representatives, You can't do it. You simply, in the House of Representatives and in the Senate as well, there are specific places for the media to speak to you. Not on the floor. Not inside the parliament. You can't do no video in there. You can't record no secret video in there and put it out in public either. You can't. It's against the rules. There are passages and the rotunda and all the places for you to talk to people and to make videos, all not in the chamber. And this rumor has it, practicing to be leader of the clown show. Just afterwards, maybe minutes, maybe we don't know how long, went on the parliament floor and made a video. Now, if there are no rules for that, then we now know there should be. But if there are rules for that, then she must also be disciplined. But even if there are no rules, come on, people, we could talk. PNP people, even if there are no rules to say that she cannot make a video inside of the parliament, in the chamber. After that just happened with Angela, my God, man, this is what you call ramping it up. When you think we done, watch me now. We took up the mace, watch me now. That couldn't be construed as anything else. Could it be? Would you construe not more than added provocation? Watch me and the girl Juliet. She shot down Angela. Watch me. Tell me honestly, is it just me? Would you be able to say that is not provocation? Point two? Huh? To turn it up a little higher, turn up the volume a little higher. Them just throw out Angela. Them just go all over things. Me a go up on the parliament floor now, go do a spoof. Me a go behave like me a Jimmy Kimmel. Would that be? So, Jesus. Oh God. I went then back to the apostasy, man. Would we be able to say, in any shape or form, wouldn't you agree with me that even if there are no rules for her to do that, make a spoof video making fun of the mace, wouldn't you consider that high provocation? But the parliament must now know that if there are no rules for that, there should now be rules. Because these people did not seek therapy before them going to the parliament. They should be in therapy. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions, we don't know. Lost an election that they truly believe they should have won. They are mentally disturbed, they are high-strung, them spiraling out of control because they never sought any kind of therapy. And we're encouraging them tonight to seek therapy for the sake of this parliament, for the sake of this country, the people who elected, the stupid ass people, them will go out and vote for the sake of them. Go seek some therapy. And Damien, a man with so much goat and other animals, those are therapy. Go sit down and all the vibes with the goat them. Tell them how vexed you are. Tell them how much you wanted to be Minister of Education. Speak about your experience to the goat them and whatever animals you have up there. So Miss Nikisha Burchell went into the parliament after them threw out Angela. After the Angela debacle, she decided to go in there and make a video. And she did. And as I said, I don't know if it's against the rules. I don't know if it's not. But what she go in there and said is something else. She said that they were frustrated and they weren't allowed to speak. Now let me just put that very plainly to you. That's a damn lie. That's an outright damn lie. At the point when Angela go abuse the mace, go disrespect our symbol, the debate was already over. And the committee of the full house was meeting now to vote on the clauses of the bill. So it's a lie that Nikisha Burchell is telling. It's damn lie. She said that they were frustrated and weren't allowed to speak, but that is not true. I'm going to share the life to Nikisha Burchell. It was not a debate on whether somebody else's proposal should be accepted. It was a lie that she tell him. And that was what went down. She's a liar. Once they were done, they go back to the meeting of the house, and that was what went down. Angela lifted the mace when the debate was over, and the bill reached the committee stage. That was when she did it. On the too damn lie. The speaker was well within her rights to stop her. And she did. Now the speaker have this whole thing now in her hands. And she now has to rule on behalf of the Jamaican people. They have been so focused on tearing down Juliet Holness. So focused. Everything. Them going at her. And yeah, she was a little rough on them. But God, man, a flesh and blood, the whole we have. All we are people. Sometimes it's just too much. Unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. But you keep doing it and going at it. I would like that Nikisha Burchell and Bunting and the pedophile and Angela Brown Burke and idiot Julian Robinson and that fool Paulwell, all of them. All of them. There are people on social media talking about how many times it was done. And it was done before. And somebody did do it some years ago. People did it in England too. I think there was one time in England, maybe on record, that one member of the house was escorted out in handcuffs, I think. I think that was. But for all the times that this has been done in the British Parliament, there's just one way it ended. Somebody went in there and called Keir Starmer a liar. Prime Minister's a liar. And the speaker named him. And after the speaker named him, and the speaker saw what the speaker have to say, the member got up out of his seat, went towards the mace, bowed, and stepped out of the chamber. Because that is what you do. That is what you signed up for. When you go run for office and be elected to the parliament and sign the book or whatever it is to sign up there, that's what you sign on to. People have done it. People said, remember one man that said something about Boris, whatever his name was, former Prime Minister. He was also named by the Speaker. What did he do? When the speaker name him, he never wait for the whole thing. Him get up, bow to the speaker and the mace, and stepped out of the parliament. That's what gentlemen do. Because the parliament is for ladies and gentlemen. Our parliament is modelled after the British Parliament. I mean, not really, because we know, them not really have no, them not no hard end, them sit down on some chair and just look at them one another. But that's what you do. The speaker cites you. It's part of the process. You make nice upon the speaker. You did something that's against and a breach of the rules. The speaker cites you, name you, call you out, discipline you. You get up, made a little bow, and step out. You know how good she would have looked this morning? People would say the speaker threw her out. But yes, it wouldn't be so bad today. It would have been so bad. But she couldn't bring herself to come out. Could not. She could not bring herself to follow the rules. She could not bring herself to just, you do it. You upstage your thing. You go on with your antics. Do the right thing now. Step out. No, she couldn't bring herself to do it. They're not deserving of being in our parliament. The people of Southwest St. Andrews should be very, very dissatisfied with her. She's a disgrace to no. Well, who is a disgrace to herself? Because I re-elect her and give her higher numbers last time because they get some of Mr. Madura money. Because that's how it go. Now, quarreling about it. We know that's how it run. She must be made an example of. Julian Robinson, Peter Bunting, the pedophile, Damian Crawford. All of them should be made an example of, because I read the part to you and let me read it again so that there is no misunderstanding about all of this. The speaker, let me read something else for you. The speaker of the house can choose to deliver any form of discipline, a reprimand at a later date, which is a serious and public shaming of the members' conduct. Disrespecting the speaker, Standing Order 43, under the standing orders of the House of Representatives, simply rising in defiance, which they have done so many times, rising in defiance can be seen as disregard for the authority of the speaker. Simply rising in defiance. Standing orders generally require that when the speaker rises, all other members must sit and be heard in silence. The speaker has the power to regulate the conduct of business in all matters that provided for in the rules, and this means that if the speaker deems that a collective standing to be a disruptive protest, they can issue a formal warning or a statement of breach of decorum at the next sitting, or the speaker can just take another route, any route you want. A simple silence. The speaker's silence at the moment to defend that to get out here. The speaker's silence at the moment of defiance. So when them get up and make them nice and go out that kind of thing, it's not a get out of jail free card. The House maintains the right to protect its own dignity, and the House can act against those members as long as a majority agrees that their conduct was a breach of parliamentary rules. We have the majority. We don't bother itch. Don't bother itch. There are other things that can be done to them. They can be removed from committees. Their party or the House could vote to remove them from influential committee as punishment for unruly behavior. Ah, boy. Now let us talk about retroactive because not do it. The most common way to discipline members for conduct that wasn't handled on the floor at the moment is a motion of privilege. And the process is simple. Any member, usually the leader of government business, can move a motion on a subsequent day, any day, arguing that the defiant member's actions constituted a breach of privilege or contempt of the House. Let me repeat that. Any member, usually the leader of government business, can move a motion on a subsequent day other than Tuesday when it happened, arguing that the defiant members' actions, all of them, Julian Robinson, the pedophile, Damian Crawford, Angela Brown Burke, and Peter Bunting, all who were standing around her, protecting her from the marshal. Subsequent day, any other day, and argue that their defiant members, the actions that they took, constitute a breach of privilege. Need to act. Even if they didn't physically block the marshal, even if they didn't physically block the marshal, nobody ever touch him, nobody ever push him, nobody ever slap him hand. So let's put it, even if they didn't physically block the marshal, rising, acting in defiance of the order that he was given is often categorized as gross disorder. And if the House decides that their action of gathering around her, of Julian telling the pedophile to drop him chair, and him subsequently drop him chair and block the marshal, of Bunting standing in front, of Damian in combat down and conferring, if the House decides that that action was meant to intimidate the Speaker or to show contempt for a ruling, then the House can pass a censure motion. Or, Speaker can issue a different kind of thing. Speaker of upper power. Yeah. And a whole part of things. But my favorite of all is that in the Jamaican Parliament, collective defiance of the Speaker's authority is treated as a high-level breach of order. Suspend all damn lot of them. If multiple members of Parliament rise in support of, I think just she did get up one time, I don't know what she did do, and then she goes sit down back, of a suspended colleague and refuse to sit or clear the way for the marshal, they can be disciplined both individually and collectively. The Speaker of our powers and the Speaker must exercise those powers. Damian, realizing what Angela was doing, sauntered off up, gritting him teeth like hell, and then come back down afterwards. Come settle. Now this is a part I want the Jamaican people to hear me now. This part. I'm going to end it here when I'm done. Well, that part. All of this going on. All of that. And the leader, the British tourist, Mark a G, I'm a G. On a leader, someone said one leader at a time. All of this happening. And the man who you all elected to lead them and man the party sat there in his seat looking punchy and peachy and pleased with himself that he monkeys them performing on his behalf. Punchy and pleased as a puss. Taking in and doing this. Don't give a shit about anything. Just enjoying the fact that the monkeys them, him other clowns, them performing on his behalf. Nothing from him. Nothing. And then the Prime Minister of the country gave him a way out. The Prime Minister of the country gave him a way out. The Prime Minister rose and he spoke briefly about order and some other thing. I never hear exactly what I'm saying. But I knew it was an out. It was an opportunity for Mark Golding now to seek that part of a stand up and encourage his member, his chairman, to follow the rules and step out of the parliament. But he never took it. Never took it. Don't want that. He want the whole thing mash up. He want it mash up. Because I mean Jamaica no good. He don't want to not have nothing now. You can't stay there on the PMP people with no antics or no foolishness. He don't want to have nothing. He want them to be dirt poor and suffering because he not get to lead it. Our parliament, the symbol of our democracy, represents everything that we have been taught, became for hours on end an open marketplace where clowns was running amok and nobody gives 2 cents of a damn about the optics of it all. Don't care who did it before. There are no optics. It's 2026. Everything is viral in 3 minutes. Everything. That's the 3-minute rule. 3 minutes and everything can go viral everywhere. It's 2026. Back when whoever did it first did it, the world probably never heard of it till 5 years after. Because when the Gleaner was publishing that, or JBC, and them was talking about that, nobody is scared. But this is today. This is Tuesday. This is 2026. And Angela Brownberg, Dayton Campbell pedophile, Peter Bunting, man or woman type with them drawers, Damian Crawford, who should we just leave him at clown? And that half idiot coward with them called Julian Robinson. You see all him? You see all him? All gathered around and decided they who you voted for decided in that moment of trial, in that moment when they had an opportunity to rise. They are not for them slogan. In that moment when they had an opportunity to mark down their name in history on the good side of the history, they had an opportunity and they blew it. They blew it. They decided that they are going to trade in conversations and debate and friendship for indecency, for lack of decorum, for violence. They decided that them trading that in. And for what? I do not know. Because if it was meant to prevent NARA from being passed, you lost again. If it was meant for the Jamaican people to hear your substantive whatever, if you have one, any kind of substantive argument you want to make against it, you lost again. Because the only thing the Jamaican people talking about today is your lack of decency. The only thing Jamaican people talking about today is how you defame the very symbols of the democracy that they elected you to go in there and build on. Because you never have an understanding as to why they elected you. It's to build on it. It's to make it better. It's to make their lives better. And you had a grand opportunity. And once again you blew it. And you blew it because you lost the elections that you really thought you were going to win. And you have not sought any kind of therapy. So you're spiraling out of control. So I'm encouraging you all, go seek some therapy before something terrible happens. Because at the rate we're going, something terrible will happen. This could be the beginning of something that we can't find a way to turn back. You are setting an example for the people that voted for you, for them to go do other things. And it will not go your way. No matter how you look at it, you will fail. You will lose every time, because this morning, yesterday morning, nobody was talking about the bill. Everybody was talking about the disgraceful behavior of the chairman of the People's National Party. Somebody who is supposed to get up into an NEC and an executive meeting and a conference and say, okay, comrades, calm down. Can we be kind to each other? No, don't do that, comrade, please. No water throwing, nobody licking anybody. We want everybody to live in love. That's the person. You, a girl, fool the people. The chairman of the party is the one that promotes peace. The chairman of the party is the one that stands in the middle of every fraction. And your chairman, that Urilek, because that is Ishima Golden wanted. He wanted her, never want parallel, a good team, never want parallel. He was a softball's full idiot. He wanted she, who have no level of decency in her, never grow good. That's not true. She grew good. She did. She grew good. I don't know what happened, but I knew her mother very well. I knew her mother very, very well. I loved her mother loved me. She grew up good. I don't know power does things to people. Power does things to people. It must. It is loss. It is a loss of the election that is driving this kind of behavior. Because collectively, they have not yet sat down and said to each other, let us talk about this in real ways. Let us trash it out among ourselves. Collectively, the 28th away. We could sit down and do a therapy session with ourselves, and then everybody go seek therapy somewhere else. Get to the head in the game. Because you have not done that, you're spiraling. And every time that we get up in the parliament, all of the find on yourself mix up in her. It's something bad. Nothing good. What about the people that elected you? He Bunting, they elected you to come start up in the parliament and defying the speaker's orders. They elected you down in South Manchester to come start in front of Angela and backing her up. They elected you. I tell them about your draws tying up thing. I tell them about everything, but it was too late. If I had more time to tell them, then probably would have voted for you. But we never had much time to tell them. What about you? Julian Robinson, you coward. Want to be leader for your idea and you can't have a 7 or 11, you can't have a L nor R. Because you're a coward and an idiot. And you were the one running up and out there come talk about the Prime Minister going to resign because the Integrity Commission were arresting. You are the first one got women's movement meeting to do that. You, Julian Robinson. Karma coming for you. But Karma don't need to come for you. Because the devil over there, we don't know, doing his job. That's the thing about the devil, you know. They give him a job, and when it's over, him just ramp it up a little higher. Because he want them 28 solely. So we give him a job, and we check the job on the 3rd of September. We have not had any engagement with him to ask him what I want. But we know him still over there. We employed him until the 3rd of September, but him look like him just take it on now free. And over there just mess with the minds. The symbol of our country and our democracy. How do they face it? On that day in history, you all decided to stand up and replace decency and friendship and debate and disagreements to agreements. You decided to drop all of that and replace it with violence and disrespect. And the Speaker of the House must act. The JLP, government, members of Parliament in the House must act. We can't tell them what to do. We don't know half of what go on in there. And go what we see on social media. And I'm sure what we see on social media and what we see on the TV and all the rest of it is not all of it. But are you, the people elected? The people wake up on September 3rd and the people heard the cry over there, so corruption, corruption, corruption. And the people look at them and say, so what? So what? And they went and they voted for you guys. 35 of you. And they say, Uno will want to take charge of things, Uno will want to continue to lead things. Or Uno will want to do it. So enough to act. This can't slide. This cannot slide. It would be a bad example, and I'm asking every Jamaican out there that can hear me and that will watch this live. Say on a piece in whatever form you can find. Say on a piece. You don't have to be for anything or against anything. Involve yourself in the conversation as to what you would like to see happen. Involve yourself in the conversation. Be a part of it. Use the online forums, your WhatsApp groups to each other. Involve yourself. Don't leave it to the political hacks like we. Bloggers them like we. Don't leave it to us. Say your piece. And for those PNP people that voted for these guys, the ones that have sense, the ones that call in and say how disappointed and shame you are, say those things to your leaders. Say it in the WhatsApp groups, the constituency, the divisional WhatsApp group, the executive WhatsApp group. Say your piece. Promote decency. Promote conversation. Denounce violence. Denounce the behavior of the chairman of the People's National Party. Denounce the behavior of Peter Bunting and Julian Robinson and Damian Crawford and the pedophile. Denounce their behavior. Say your piece. Add your voice to the conversation if you are a true patriotic Jamaican. And start beating up your chest about your PNP. True patriotic Jamaican who wants the best in your parliament. Because the parliament represents everything that we are. Everything. Every law, everything that we do, our roads, our livelihood. And you need people in it to represent you and your interests. You don't need clowns. So let your voices be heard. Send your voices to your members of parliament and let them know how you feel about this. You don't have to cost somebody. Just let them know how you feel about this. And all the dons them on the social media, the dons PNP talk about throw the maze out the door. And I big up Angela. Here's what you should do. Go tell your children, show it to them and say, this is what you must do. This is how I want you to behave. Do that. All of you, we are big up Angela. Show it to your children. Explain to them what it is and tell them, say, that them to do. Go. Go ahead. Go do that now. As I said before on Tuesday, there are a whole lot of things that I want to say. But I don't know how to have any other conversation with you tonight except to repeat to you that everything has changed in that parliament since those 28 people went in there. Conversations become confrontation. Debate become cascas. Give it to your wife. and disrespect, and now it leads to near violence. What next? What next? What next? All Angela had to do when she did that, when the speaker called her, is to get up, go in front of the mace, do a little bow, say thank you, Madam Speaker, and leave. She's an educated woman. I mean, the doctorate is a full doctorate, but she still get a good education. She could have done that. We'd be having a different conversation today. We'd be saying, Nara passed, Angela touched the mace, and she did the right thing. That would have been the conversation today. But what causes people to choose all the time not to do the right thing? There's something in people's, I think it right in the hippocampus, where people decide in mind that they're not going to do the right thing. And that comes from pride and lack of understanding of where you are and what is it that is expected of you. Yeah? The cokehead them tell me, say, I'm the only one who call them Mister. And I'm the only one who tell them sorry. And excuse me, sir. Because where I come from in my headspace, it's just the right thing to do. Just the right thing to do. Just it. I read a story about a young 16-year-old girl who went on vacation down in Georgian Bay. And if any of you know, I've been to Ontario, you know Georgian Bay. Lovely, lovely beachside, lovely. It's not so much, it's a beach, but it's also a kind of I don't remember what I'm calling it. But anyway, this young girl and her family went there for vacation. And a man was out the lake. It's a lake. It's a big lake, huge and cold. The water is crystal clear. You can stop in and see the bottom of the lake. Trust me, I didn't stop in and see the bottom of the lake. I was standing on something. See the bottom of the lake. And the man went out kayaking, and his kayak turned over, and he went under 12 feet at the bottom of the lake. And the little girl, 16-year-old, was just standing there, and she never noticed the man went under, but she saw the kayaking, and she said, and then she heard the people beside her talking on the phone, calling 911 to say, boy, the kayak turned over, a man went under, we can't see him no more, it look like him drowned, we need help, send ambulance, send help. And the little 16-year-old girl, I remember her name, Klassen was her last name, and she run down to the edge of the lake and jump off into the damn icy cold water and swam 60 yards. The distance between where she coming from and where the kayak overturned is the size of 2 football fields. You can imagine that distance. And she swam. And when she reached out to where the kayak was, she couldn't see the man. And when she looked down, she saw him at the bottom of the lake, unconscious. And she took a deep breath and just went under and got him, grabbed him, and then she pulled him up by his waist and grabbed him and rest him head on her shoulder, and she started to swim with him, and he was slipping away, and she stopped, took her next deep breath and grabbed him on them 2 arms this time, but she was running out of breath, and she did the last thing that she had to do, and that is she came up for breath and she shouted help. And a man who was on a paddle, not too far away, came over and took the man from her. We carried him on the sand. And then she swam back the 60 yards, back to sand. The man lived, the medics came, and he lived. And she went back to her vacation. The reason why I'm telling this story is because when they were honoring her, Carnegie Foundation, built by, heard of Carnegie, steel magnate, back in the early 19th century, early 20th century. When Carnegie steel magnate, So them have this foundation where them honor young people. And they honored her, paid for her school into nursing school. And when she went back home and everybody interviewing her and her neighbors and her friends and her schools and everybody, every single person that they interviewed, every schoolmate, everybody in the neighborhood, the shop people, the pizza shop people, the ice cream shop people, everybody said, oh, we're not surprised by that. Because that's her. That's her. That's the kind of person she is. She saw somebody needed help, but she never thinks. She just went. Everybody. And I found it so amazing. Nobody was surprised. Nobody was saying, really? Did she do that? No. Everybody was saying, well, that is how she is. Oh, she saved the cat once. She picked up the stray dog with a 1 foot and then straightened him away and she took him up and she carried him down to the vet and that is how she's a 16-year-old. You act because of who you are. The things you do reflect who you are. It's a simple matter. I learned that a long, long time ago. The things you do, things you say, it reflects who you are. And what you have done, Angela Brownberg, is brought our parliament down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 notch down. King Charles have probably read the whole report by now. The entire Commonwealth have seen it by now. The entire Caribbean. Most of them with some puppy show parliamentary thing. Same like us, but you know, behind us. We are the cream of the crop in the Caribbean. They all have seen it. They all have seen the videos of Dayton Campbell, the pedophile, sit down and black the marshal. They all have seen Bunting and Damian Crawford and Julian Robinson back it up. Them chairman, all of them. And even a friend, Mia Motley, might not agree with her, although she's gone off the reservation, she might. But everybody have seen it. Australia, New Zealand, everybody. All of my YouTube compatriots, them that I trade politics with and share information with, all of them have seen it. Everybody. It's a very active conversation. People want to understand what it is because them don't know. In the US groups, in the groups that was set up when Mitt Romney and the Hillary Clinton groups, everybody wants to have an understanding of what it was. And that is where I found out that people can make video in the Congress. And we now have made viral news headline across the world for something that will haunt us for the rest of our living days. This will never ever go away. Ever. And that fool thing that you call an apology, all no does him don't go into parliament and put it on the parliamentary record to say to Desmond McKenzie, I apologize to you, sir. I shouldn't have done that. All no, can't bring himself to do it in the parliament where he heard the insult in the parliament and he never still don't think that he should go in the parliament and deliver that apology. And all know Angela don't use the word I truly am sorry for what transpired. Not at all. She not going to use those words, I truly am sorry. Because she think that she'd be apologizing to individual people, maybe Mrs. Holness or the parliament, who she don't like, but she want to be in there. That is even an amazing thing. She don't believe that that apology would be for the Jamaican people and what they have seen and how it comes across. She don't believe that. So she's not going to say that. She's not going to say, I am truly sorry for that. She not. I'm exhausted by it all. I don't know when I'll ever get over this. I'm not as tough as I think I am, believe you me. Something like this. When or if I will ever get over this. And that is that. I am not going into any other topics. That will be all. That just that. But I want to close by saying to everybody that listen here, no matter what political party you are from, and no matter what ideology you hold dear, there are three more important things for me, and I think that maybe for most people. It's God, family, country. And that's it. It's God, family, and country. And in some instances, it's just God and country. Because some family failure as well. But if we can't find it within our hearts to disagree and quarrel without promoting violence and confrontation, I don't know. One young lady said to me down in Manchester when the council guy did come up and said, Dirty Karen Cross said to me, when me hear him say it and I watch a video, I look to the Karen and say, I'll kick him over, you know. And I said, no, sir. We just said, Dirty. We just call him back Dirty and remind him that me beat him up already. But me now inside the confrontation, and when I see it coming, I have my way of closing it off, close down those who want a confrontation, and not engaging in any confrontation with anybody. So when you come with it, I will close it down. You would even know that I close it down when I close it down. So that is who I am. I have a greater responsibility, and my responsibility is to my country. And my other responsibilities to the government of the day that is now in charge of the country. So when people like Angela Brownberg, who can't stand the fact that the government in charge of the country and not the opposition, and it's not a co-government, I can't help her. She's on her own with that. She needs therapy. Them need some therapy. When people, the civil society, and all the people them who have some kind of organization name, come out and talking about that government should divest their powers to institutions and committees and bureaucrats and statutory bodies and all of that. Utter garbage. Government was elected by the people, for the people. Every power that government has is power that the people gave government. And government have no responsibility, no power at all to divest that power to any other body, to spend our money. There are people like Karen Watson who are supposed to ensure that them don't thief for money, but nobody now give them no power to do anything else. Now you can't hire nobody, now you can't talk about how the money for spend, or who must depend the committee, or who must run what the place in Nara, or who must in charge of that. No, don't have them kind of power there. The only people that have the power are the people who the people of Jamaica voted for. Them alone. Them alone have them power there. And any minister or the series of ministers or people who are going to be in charge of these things ever divest those powers to some people who nobody don't know. Who don't want to hear from we. Because we want to hold accountable. We want the money where we forget to come to we from UNO. And the people who in there are supposed to ensure that they not thief the money. That's the only job them have. To ensure that the money go where it's supposed to go. That's it. As to the opposition, they have zero power. They have no power. Their power is to chat and oppose. That's the only power them have. Them give that to themselves. Play the clowns, play the fools, go into the palace, be the clown, you can't be the king. That's their job. Let them do what they do. But government must understand that they are government. Put the people in place that's going to carry out the government policy and the government instructions as to how this thing goes. No group and body of civil society, we don't even know them. They want to be a part of it because they want to rob it. They want to thief it, they want to be the name on it, they want to be the face on it, and for them a few. It's our time now. When PJ say black man time, no man, our black people time now. Our time now. That's why you are government. Nobody never elect you to go pass it on to some kind of committee Because some people say some committee must get it because them don't want to get it. Why? Nobody elect them. Nobody elected them. Nobody elected no committee. Nobody elect nobody from the civil society. We don't like them. Nobody likes them. Nobody even want to hear them name. So no. And government do not have to have any discussion with them. Only if the government feel like they want to have a discussion with them, fine. But you don't have to. You have to engage them. Engage them for what? To do what? What are they going to do? Engage them in what? To tell them, say, well, yeah, we'll set up NARA. What else you want to know? That's engagement. Them can't read about that. Them don't want no engagement to be of use. Them want engagement to behave like them a policeman and policewoman to come police government policies, police government programs. Nobody owes them anything. Them a civil society. Let them go civil society. That's what I'm going to do. Let them go meet with Angela Brownbrook, teach her how to be civil. Well, them have to practice how to be civil first before them can tell anybody about civility. Let them go meet with them 28 clowns and everybody have a therapy session about civility and what civil society means. Let them go do that and leave politicking and governmenting to politicians and government. And our government and our government ministers and the executive directors, them in the various organizations, don't let anybody run over them. Tell them very clearly, your job, if you are the auditor, your job is to damn audit. Not hire people. Not tell me who to hire. Not to tell me what to do or where to spend money. That are my work. Your money is to make sure, your work is to make sure, whatever money me I spend which part it for spend. Go audit that. And don't ask me crap. Tell them. Because for too long, for very, very, very too long, all of what we're supposed to get are tied up in these people and these things and these committees and these this and that. And poor people can't get nothing. Make poor people get something, man. Make poor people get some whole heap of something. All this need to start soon to start give us some more houses. We want to see people that get more donkey. Who in charge of just to mention now? Which one the minister can give a man a walker and one a lawnmower? I need a lawnmower and a walker. Which one the minister can? These ministers are asking. I need a walker and a lawnmower. I'm going to fuck it up and give them two gardeners. We have gardeners. So because them work so close, I figure if I give one the walker and one the thing, them can exchange and both of them can work too good. That is civil society. That is how civil society works with the damn ass. That is how it works. Let us be kind to each other, no? Let us be good to each other. Let's teach these politicians how this thing works, no? That people can disagree and have different views. I don't mean that we're going to lick down each other or be disrespectful to each other. Let's not do that. Let's set an example for them because them don't know the example. We could go on and on and on and on and about that, but I'm not going on anymore. I'm done. Because Jesus paid it all. All to him I owe. Everybody good? Let me see if anybody asks me something that I need to answer, and then I'm going to hang up. All right. That's true. Because them now get the money to spend them a rant and rave. But he said them go therapy and talk it through and know that them don't have the money to spend, they'll be behaving better. They need therapy. Who is for father? What the hell is wrong with them? Okay. All right. That is good. That's just some honor, ma. Great to have you. All right. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you so very much. Let's be good to each other, be kind to each other. You all should send something to every member of parliament, your member of parliament, your councillor, and encourage them to be kind to each other. Let us teach them since them can help themselves. Let us see if we can teach them, all of us. So if your member of parliament who was not a participant in this marketplace happenings at the parliament, get a note to him or her and tell them that, be kind to the opposition, whoever they are, and let's do it for Jamaica. Remind them that them sign up for this parliament and there are rules, and when them don't follow them, there will be consequences. And we, as of me, I'm waiting to see what the speakers punishment is going to be for all of these people. Thank you all so very much. God bless you all. Stay safe, everybody, and keep the children safe. Stay good.